Hey folks, it is me. I decided to not have a sort of opener. Um, just kidding. I like to use the little things. Are you ready? It's me. Anyway, I love to use. It's such a lie. I love to use these little media things that this thing lets me use. It's a great software. Anyway, whatever. It's not an ad for them. Hi, it's me. It's Lou. Welcome to I Like to Think I'm Interesting. Like every single time I do one of these, like in the closer that Stu wrote for me. Shout out to Stu. But like I say we're gonna have guests when I have had one guest. Pardon me that like most of this is just me talking and chatting. I just really like it. I like talking and chatting, and also it's something that I really want to get in the habit of just being creative and being in the habit of expressing myself and doing what I want to do, making stuff. Yeah, I wanted to like hop on here just to not only remain consistent with the goals that I've put out for myself, which includes, like working on this, but also to like, I don't know, just share some things. Yeah. So this is another episode of I Like to Think I'm Interesting. Welcome to the podcast. I am your host Lou, and I am just doing it alone today. I've said a lot of things around and around. I've really been trying hard to not talk in circles. I've really been trying to stay on a topic so people can, like, if you're listening, you can understand. It's just good practice. So, the topic for today. Right. So, I haven't completely solidified this topic. I wrote when I was, about to record. I usually write what topic I'm going to talk about and then have a couple bullet points, at least in my head, to talk about. But I sort of put TBD for this one because, I have a lot on my mind recently, and so I thought I would just share a few things with you. So I'm going to try my best to keep this succinct, so this might just be a brain dump episode, so maybe this could just be sort of a background relaxing thing, that if you're listening to it, it just, I'm sure that's what this is anyway, but I'm not going to talk about, maybe this is the episode where, maybe I'll have some episodes where what I'm talking about is not, I don't think, is particularly interesting. So maybe it's like, this episode isn't particularly interesting, and these could just be the brain dump episodes where, I just sort of talk about whatever's on my mind, and there's no specific topic in mind or idea. Because I sat down to record, and I was like, I'm not sure what I want to make, but I think that's just part of it, is just showing up, right, and just making it. So recently I've been having a lot of trouble with just where I want to go in my life, and in terms of career and job and so forth, because like I grew up thinking I would just be an actor or a writer or this, and it would just happen, and if I just went to the right school and I studied really hard, then I would do this thing. But it takes a lot more than that. And not that I don't have it, it's just that I just really wish that I knew the path to commit to and the direction to go. I'm committing to a path and committing to a direction, but it's just, ultimately, I just really want to be happy in life. I really want to do something that I feel passionate about, because I spent all this time preparing myself to do something for work that I'm passionate about, because I know that I'm a really creative person, and I can have a huge creative output if I really try, if I really push myself. And I know that it's where, I shine the most. I shine the most when I'm making things. And what's really hard about that is that the current industry that I'm going into, when I found out that AI was going to be a thing, I just broke down, because it's been a thing for a few years now. I understand it, and it's always been sort of in the background building itself, but it's like, it's very hard as an artist as somebody who wants that to be their full thing, to start in a world where like that's becoming so much more prevalent, and it's more when you're making art, when you're doing it on a professional, competitive, what have you level. It's really hard to see a lot of those professional jobs being, I guess, foretold that they will be taken by AI, and it's fine, whatever. We have different ways of doing things, new tools come into practice all the time. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have new tools, right? I mean, like, I definitely think that, just like any piece of technology, we have to adapt, we have to learn, we have to live, but it's still really depressing, I would say, because there's so many people with attitudes about it that are just really mean and rude and just reflective of this individualist and dog eat dog rat race type of mentality about the world, that, like, at the same time saying, what you do isn't a real job, but then they turn around and be like, well, we can eliminate the need for you, implying there was a need for us in the first place. And I don't know, that's not really a hypocritical thing, maybe, but it's depressing, because it's just like, I studied my whole life. I looked forward to this my whole life, and now I'm here and I don't know what the best path is, because I don't want to end up, left out in the cold. I don't want to, like, pursue something or push for something and then suddenly, I'm homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard when I develop these skills and develop this love and all of this stuff that just radiates from me whenever I do it, whenever I, try it, it's really hard to walk around with that knowledge that, like, maybe jobs like the ones that I want won't exist. It'll just be, there'll be humans who make art, and they will be, like, a lot of the normal jobs that they would have gotten will be taken up, and I don't know if audiences of, like, film, obviously theater, you can't, have AI take that, because that's the whole point, is it's live performance. I mean, unless everybody just wants to look at cartoon characters all day, or, like, fake people all day, like, we will need people for something. I mean, at least I hope, but it's just hard when you want to go into film and you're like, they're going to try to use your likeness for, like, a background person or something, or, like, for your likeness in perpetuity for $100. They were talking about doing that, and I don't know if that's true or if that's anywhere near, the realm of what people are thinking now. It certainly needs a lot of regulation, right? But again, there's all kinds of narratives, because, we exist on the internet now perpetually, right? So, when you're on the internet, you see so many different viewpoints and opinions about it, and, I think what I wish from a lot of people is just, if you are, like, really wanting to encourage AI, I would say, like, be compassionate. Lead with compassion. Because, like, I think that's what most people who are afraid of it are feeling like. Because I feel like it's more of a, when people talk about it sometimes, it's become more of a, haha, got you, you artists. You thought you could do something that none of us can do, but now we can do it too. And now, like, you're obsolete and terrible. Like, I mean, at least that's how it feels sometimes, like a sort of gotcha moment. And, like, true, there can be mean artists too, right, that go back and say, well, you can't do anything, you're talentless, whatever. And there's this whole narrative of, like, talent and stuff, and that, like, you can't make anything if you don't have talent. And it's like, it's so stupid. The longer that I have lived, makes me sound so old. I just said that. I'm really not old. I'm so young. But, biggest lesson I've learned being alive for this long is that, like, it's not about talent. I think talent, growing up, a lot of times people told me I had talent, and that always made me feel really, really great. And, when I tried at something, it went really, really well, in terms of my singing and my acting, and I wrote things and people really liked what I did, and and it was really encouraging, and I continued. But it was like, and I'm not saying I didn't want that kind of encouragement. I think I'm saying that, like, and there's no way that I could have known this back then, but I kind of wish that I had known that, like, working hard doesn't mean suffering, and you can't you can't get better if you don't work at it, you know? And when people tell you you're talented, sometimes there's like this, well, I'm naturally gifted. And also there's this thing of like teachers, will say to people in the arts, like, oh, you don't have it. Oh, you're not a real artist. Oh, you're never going to be anything. And my thought to that is, how the hell do you know? How do you know? That person, that child, that 16-year-old, that, even college student that you said that to, like all of these like universities that have these competitive programs that don't accept people, it's like, to me, that's sort of admitting that you don't teach anybody anything. And then it's just a status symbol if somebody gets into your thing. It means like they were great already. So they didn't super need you. They just needed a few tweaks and stuff. I don't know. I kind of find elitist artists like so annoying, and the more that I have sat with art, the more I have seen that like natural talent is BS, man. Like in anything. Like, like cool, you figured out something faster than somebody else, but if you don't work at it, that other person's going to catch right up to you, and then they're going to surpass you. Like, to be a natural, that's great, but like also it takes a lot of work to hone, and you also have to be aware that sometimes you have periods of burnout. That's definitely something that, and I just speak this from my experience, where I've really been trying to recover the past 2 years from burnout, and it's not fun. Something you love not feeling good anymore because you're not perfect at it. And it's also taught me by the same coin, there's always ways to improve. There's always ways to get better. And when you work at something really hard at something, you do get results. I've seen that in my personal mental health. I really tried to commit to every day, getting better habits, and to living a happier life. Like I really said to myself, like, I don't want to feel the way I felt ever again. I don't want to be there ever again. There's so much shame also in being somebody who was once called talented, but no longer doing as well as you think you should. I have a hard time having been known as talented in my past and not feeling that way anymore, because I've been so stopped. I haven't been able to continue to improve my craft, and I feel like I've fallen behind. I feel like I'm not good anymore. I think it's really tough sometimes. Habits and routine are really important, and don't get me wrong, in the past 2 years, I have shown myself that I can work at something, and that I do work hard, and that I do have a lot of discipline. I've just been really trying to heal, and I haven't been able to thrive as much as it feels like my peers are. And that sounds too sad. I don't want to make a sad podcast. I have been really trying to work on myself and work on the part of me that needs constant validation from others in order to produce work that I'm proud of, in order to survive. I don't know, it's just like sometimes I feel so far behind because it feels like everybody that I know just has it already. I have a lot of envy, I admit. I'm trying to use this platform to be seen. I am so afraid of being seen for all of my faults and all that I truly am. I'm not good, at least I don't think I'm very good at a lot of things. There's a lot that I wish I could be better at. There was someone really important to me in my life that called me undisciplined. Or she said that I needed to be more disciplined, implying that I didn't have it. And, maybe I overreacted to that, or maybe a lot of people told me I didn't overreact to it. It stuck with me, ever since, I felt like I've just been constantly trying to prove that person wrong. That I'm not how she saw me. That I'm not a failure at what I do, that I don't bring others down, that I'm deserving of support and of people to believe in me and my dreams and my work, and that my work is good. The criticism has stuck with me for a long time, and it feels like no matter what I do, I just can't quite escape it. My friend told me, though, that it's a really good idea to practice being exposed like that. I didn't quite understand what she meant, going into it, but I think I understand it a little bit now, that for a long time after I burnt out, I was afraid to be seen. I was afraid of what people would say. Also because of what this person in the past said to me. I was afraid of being judged, of being looked at like I wasn't enough, of being like, who are you to do that? Like, what makes you think you can do that? You're not good enough. It's been very easy to think that way. And I have so much loving support externally now from so many wonderful people who I call my friends and family. And it's still there sometimes. The fear of failure holds me back a lot. I'm afraid of saying something wrong, of doing something wrong, of being something wrong. I'm not making a lot of money right now. I'm really not. I'm being supported and loved by so many people. And it's so wonderful and beautiful, and I feel like I don't deserve any of it. But I want to really badly, to be deserving of it. I never meant for this podcast to be something sad, or I'm not trying to tell a sob story. I'm just trying to be visible. I've only ever known that I'm good at making things, and that I'm good at being seen. And it was really hard when I no longer felt that confidence that I could be seen. Like my face, or my, voice, or, my self, my personality. I feel so grateful for so many people in my life who support me and love me. And I feel more supported now than I've ever felt. At least by my friends. I've always felt pretty supported by my family. Shout out to you guys, love you guys. But I have such loving people in my life that I chose for myself, that are kind to me and love me. And I'm proud of the person I've become. I think I just... And maybe this does speak to my relentless character. Maybe it's because I am relentless. Where I am is not good enough for me. I want to be somewhere else. I want to be somewhere bigger. I want to be somewhere better. I want to be doing more. I want to be making more. I want to be, I want to do more. I want to be doing more. And what's hard is it's slow. It's really slow going. And, I'm not at a high school or a college campus anymore where everything is just sort of there. And you know exactly where to go for everything in terms of like performances or opportunities and things, or all the opportunities and things cost money now. Or whether that's in, literal funds or in like transportation there, right? Or in large amounts of your time. And, I'll be honest, because I burnt out from Loser Creative, I have been really hesitant to commit my time to anything. I have just been really trying to make sure that whatever I commit my time to is the right thing, because I know how easily I can just focus on something and focus on it, and it's not good enough, and it's not good enough, and it's not good enough until I lose it. I lose how to feel. I lose what I want to do. I lose my heart. I lose my passion. I lose my soul. And it sounds really hooey, really ooey gooey, but it's truth, you know? It's how a lot of the times I feel stuck. A lot of the times I feel like I can't move to the next spot. This is not a very interesting... I mean, I think I said at the beginning it wasn't going to be very interesting. I didn't want it to be sad either. I'm not sad, mind you. Something I want to be very clear about is I'm not depressed. I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like to think that the world is fundamentally bad, and fundamentally it's never going to get better, and fundamentally everybody's upset, and why do I get to be happy if everybody's upset? There are people in poverty. There are people who have lost loved ones. There are people who are in way worse situations than I am. Why do I get to be doing okay? And the thing about that is I don't feel that way anymore, you guys. I'm really happy to be alive, and I know that happiness exists. I know that a medium exists. I know that contentment exists. I used to not feel contentment. I used to either feel joy or absolute horribleness, and most of it was horribleness. And I filled my time with things to cope with that and to, frankly, stay here, you know? But yeah, I have fought really hard to have this mindset and to be, you know, this ready to take on my future. And I want to say that, you know, I'm only this way, and I'm only this frustrated and this angry and this determined and spinning my wheels because I know that there's something better that I can do. I know that I can do more, and I think I'm just frustrated because I have to go slow. I think I know that. I think I have to go slow, because if I go fast and I just ba-da-da-da-da and I accept everything given to me and I just go, that it's not going to end well for me. Not even end well. It's not going to be good for me. And it's really hard because we live in a society. Okay, we live in a society. We live in a society where productivity is the number one thing, and you are praised for your productivity no matter how you get there. And even though we have this whole emphasis on mental health nowadays, you know, in the grand scheme of things, we really aren't. You know, the way that the world, I guess, and our system, the system of capitalism, the system of the world, is that they judge you and your success is based on your productivity and how much output you're able to give. And there's so much saturation of the arts market, and you see what other people are doing and how other people are growing, and you're like, I want to get there. And so you work and work and work, and nothing's ever good enough, and you're so frustrated you don't even want to know or find out what's good enough because it's just too much. And you know what's funny is that's probably just neurodivergency. Not just. It's probably a combination. It's probably also neurodivergency. You know, that's also something that's really changed for me in the past 2 years, is that I found out I have ADHD, and I've talked about it a million times, and I probably also have autism. And the thing is, I keep saying it, and it sounds like, I don't know, I think it's really hard for other people to understand. It's been really hard for me to understand, and I feel like people see it as this excuse to do less, when it's like, I don't want to do less, I want to do differently. And the thing that is hurting me and harming me is I am doing more your way. I want to do more my way, and I don't know what way that is because because I haven't figured out how it is that I function. I've had to relearn how to function. And that's so hard for other people to understand. And it's even hard for me to understand and be patient with myself about. And I judge myself all the time. And I assume other people are judging me all the time for it. And I've been ragging myself like crazy about my performance, about how much output I'm able to put out in comparison to my peers, about what commitments I'm able to make in comparison to my peers. I compare myself to my peers all the time. I'm sure we all do. I think what is inside me and what I'm so frustrated about is I know that I can make good things too, that I can do it too, and that I'm not lazy, and that I am disciplined. It's just it doesn't work the same way, and I don't even know how to explain it, and I don't know how to stop feeling like it being different is just me being lazy or me avoiding something, when it's that I'm just trying to find out the best way that I can do what I used to do. I used to produce so much, I used to make so much, I used to be a part of so much, and now I struggle to do small things. I mean, my focus has just been everywhere, and I haven't known where to really put it. So please don't think this is just a shit on myself session. It's really not. It's a brain dump, like I said at the beginning. And I didn't really have a topic coming in. This is me fulfilling a commitment I made to myself to work on my projects, to, just make bad things. Make bad things until I make something good, hammering away at it. What on earth? That made me feel so much better. Thanks for listening, guys. It feels real nice to say that no, there isn't a desire to just sit on my laurels and not do anything. The desire is so deep, to be doing things, to be making things, to be working, to be creating, and just can't figure out how I want to do that. And I guess maybe the point is I'm not supposed to have it all figured out. I guess it just feels like everybody else does, because they are doing the things I wish I could do at the rate that they do them. It would be so cool if I felt confident enough to make films at this time and then post, a TikTok or a short form video to all of my platforms, at this time, and then it goes out at this time, or add to my website, make it look nice, make it look really nice, and put one of these out, every week and not skimp on it, make some YouTube videos, I don't know, make some content, be a damn content creator like I know I want to be. It's just A, I'm afraid to be seen. B, I'm afraid to be famous. C, I'm afraid of burning out again. I'm afraid of doing what I love for a living. But I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose the love ever again. And I want to keep doing it because I don't want to lose it. And, if I do something else on top of it, I'm worried I'll lose it because I'll burn out from that, and then nothing I do will feel good again. Do you understand the problem I'm in? It's I know that I want to spend my life doing things like this, but I have been stopped, and it feels like people are the answer is to just do it. And I'm I am doing it. It's just that doing it consistently is really hard for me. And the opportunities that you can get are from consistency, constantly improving. And these are the things that I want to do. But like when you're not satisfied and you don't know when to stop working like me, and you haven't figured out how you work like me, it's really hard to just hit the ground running like it feels like all of my peers have. And I know that's not true. I know not all of my peers have hit the ground running at everything they've done. I know this. But I can't conceptualize. I can conceptualize it. It's just very hard to conceptualize it. So if anybody was under the guise of that I feel perfect or that I'm doing whatever about this, no, that is not true. I'm just trying to be forward thinking, working on my goals, and I am. I feel it's so hard to share. I feel pathetic a lot of the time about, and just because I feel pathetic, just because I have these feelings does not mean that my entire sky is full of, is cloudy, Is it just clouds in my sky? Like I used to have an entire sky of clouds constantly, and the sun would peek through sometimes, and it was nice, and then it would leave, and the clouds would stay. Like that was what I was doing for 10 years, I'm not kidding. It started in middle school, and I just sort of did things until, and it's probably because of the neurodivergency. We know that. Okay. But anyway, bear with me. I am personally okay. It's just right now I am experiencing negative feelings, and it's, it's frustrating, because I do feel pathetic that I am not where I want to be. I am not where I want to be. I want to be, and I don't even know exactly where I want to be. I don't even know if I'll feel the way I want to feel when I get there. All I know is I want to feel fulfilled. I want to like what I do. I want to make some things for me. I want to make a lot of things for others. But I just want to be doing that. And I hate that even when I have all this time, I'm not doing that. I hate that I can't make the output that I want to make. I hate that I just get stuck. I hate it. And it's frustrating. And so, I'm going down this path to try to get better at that, essentially. And boy, is it hard. I guess it's not that bad. I have a lot of people who support me and love me, but it's just been a rough go, There's a lot of insecurity, and there's just a lot of pressure in the oversaturation of content, to stand out, to be better than everyone, to do all these things, and if you can't, then you can't make money, then you can't do it. And the thing is, I don't know, a path that sounds really cool to me would be to make enough, content and ideas with my content to do it, to really do it. But I just don't, at this point, at this moment, I don't feel like I can really reach that level of output that I really want to reach. So my approach is just to go very slow and steady and casual, a slow pace. I'm applying for jobs and stuff, I don't know, but it's slow going. I wonder if anybody out there also sometimes wishes they were someone different, not really wishes they were someone, I don't really wish I was someone different. I think I just wish that I felt like I had it more figured out, and that I didn't feel like I made so many mistakes all the time. But I guess other people feel like that too, Hopefully this makes you feel, whoever's listening, feel better about themselves. Everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, but that's where I am currently, managing my fear of burnout, managing my fear of not being enough, managing my fear of not doing enough that I want to do, and managing how on earth I do that. Because I really, really want to make more stuff. I would love to I would love for it not to feel like so much to do very simple things. In my mind, there's such simple things like record the podcast, upload the podcast as a YouTube video, like all of these things. I find it to be very difficult to do. And it's really frustrating because it's just like, it's not hard. Like, sitting down to podcast, like, that's been made easier. But, like, when something requires multiple steps so often, and then I get mad at myself for not doing all of the steps just right, then I start not wanting to do the thing entirely. It's so... But I'm working on it. I'm working through it. For those of you who listen, or who've listened to this far, if I was that person who could make a lot of stuff, like, what kind of content would you want to see from me? Like, would you want to see, like, commentary on something? Would you want to see, like, a YouTube video about something, or like a short about something, like, I don't know, what would be kind of fun to see from me? Because I have a lot of things that would be cool. The hardest part for me is that I can't see myself doing them. I can't see them completed. I can't see them working out. And I'm hoping to get better with that as I work on my ADHD. I'm hoping to get better with that, because that's just executive functioning, baby. Like, the hardest parts of anything are just the small little tasks. And then by the time I'm done with them, I get so angry and exhausted and furthermore angry that I feel like I can't continue. So here's some ideas. But please feel free to tell me in the comments of wherever this is what you would like to see. But here's some ideas I've had. I would love to sing, and what's held me back from that is I'm afraid that I haven't practiced in a while, and that my voice isn't good anymore, because it used to be good. And I also don't really know how to record a cover, and I'd also have to figure out how the rights issues work with that. So there's that. But covers have always been really fun. I would love to, like, make, like, a narrative or something, like, with a podcast, like, make a story on a podcast. I would love to make short form video content advertising films that I make. I would love to maybe, like, I'm not really into the skit vibe, more like into, maybe it's like a short film, but it's like a short, like a short video, like a 1 minute video that's, like, meant for viewing, like, on a phone screen. I think that could be fun. And yeah, those are some of the things I was thinking about. It would also be really cool someday to work with an animator, maybe make an animatic together. I would love to, like, work with an artist and, like, make something cool like that. I've always wanted to work on animation. I love fantasy stories. I would love, specifically on this podcast, to share some stories that I've written. My biggest fear with that is that, and all of these fears are very big, and they're kind of a lot of them unfounded, I know, but I'm just speaking them to just give an idea. I am afraid of sharing my stories here because I've been told so many horror stories of people stealing people's stories. Not that anyone is really listening to these, but that is my fear. That is my unfounded fear, I know. But I would love to do something like that. I would also love to do, like, a reading on here, like a staged reading or something of, like, something I wrote, or, like, have some friends on there and read stuff. My only thing about that is I would really like to, not record all on one microphone. I would love to do a thing someday where we record on multiple microphones or something. I would love to use the video feature of this podcast platform. I would love to do video, good quality video, but there's A, I don't have a webcam, and B, I am worried about the background situation. I don't think my background looks that nice, my room, because my background would just be my room. So there's that. Yeah, I just would, if I could just do it, if I could just make all that content without being stopped so much, if I could, organize my time well, if I could, I don't know, make a living while I did it, I would do all of those things, and I would act for you. I would sing for you, I would write for you, but I don't feel confident to do many of those things right now. Maybe I'll do one thing. In the future, I definitely want to read something of mine, but I also would want to do a thing where I do a radio story, a radio play, and I put it on the podcast, and it's really produced, and it's got music and acting performances of my friends and sound, something like that. I would love to do that too. I have a lot of ideas for a lot of different things that I would like to do, but I think I have a really hard time committing my time to them because I feel like they're not gonna amount to anything. Is that weird? Or that people won't like them, or that I won't like them, or that I'll work so hard on them I won't want to do anything ever again. Because, unfortunately, that's what happened when I worked on my two productions, my two recent ones, TF and Jude and Julia. What's great about Jude and Julia, though, is I am premiering it quite soon. I'll link the premiere to the first episode, which is going to go up this Friday, actually. I'm having I'm hosting a premiere with friends, and at the same time, the first episode is going to go up on YouTube. So I will link that in this. I hope anybody who's listening can watch that, but that's my secret hope. But yeah, we're doing the premiere, and that's great, but working on those two projects, really, I just focused too long and too hard, and I felt too bad about not doing it well enough, not producing enough, not making enough, and I started making less and less and less, and, didn't make any money. Forget about money. And it broke me. Okay, I'm not broken. That's not true, but it did make me have to go and try a different way, and it's taken me a long time to get back into doing anything. And I worked really hard on those projects, but I really believe that I spread myself very thin, and so many people had something to say. Not so many people, 2 people, and their opinions mattered a lot to me, and then they said really mean things, and then stuff was tough. So, all it takes is one person, right, to be just a jerk, right? To just really throw you off. But yeah, if I felt like I wouldn't get hurt, if I felt if I knew how to regulate myself, and I'm speaking this into existence because I want to learn to get to that point so that I can make all the things that I want to make and do all the things that I want to do, because I'm such a creative person, and I'm sick of not making stuff, guys. And I'm sick of not feeling like I can, or that any of them will be good enough. I'm tired of it being such a hard thing to function. I'm ready to thrive. I'm ready to make moves in my career and to actually do things. I just need to find the right tools and strategies. But I don't quite know what those are yet, and I haven't quite mastered them. And I'm frustrated. So, bear with me here. Thanks for listening. I think I've talked enough. This has been, I like to think I'm interesting. I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk, and I hope that maybe some of you relate. And let me know what projects you could see me doing. Also, I'm gonna put the premiere in the description, so be on the lookout for that for my web series. So I hope you'll give it a watch, and all right, see you guys.
Longer than I thought it would be, but it's the end of the podcast.